Hey there hunters, Lord here, back with another Monster Hunter Wilds video. In today's video, I'm going to be going over 3 new sets that you can make with the new weapons and armors from Title Update 2. Now, just as a disclaimer, overall, the previous meta sets are typically still going to be the best. We did get some nice new armor pieces like the Lagiacrus Helm Beta, and the Seregios 4-piece actually has some extremely good use with Longsword, but you'll be seeing that later. But overall, if we were looking at brand new metas and stuff to make that will outclass 4 Gore with the Zoshia chest, we just didn't get that this time, which I kind of think we all expected since we knew that Lagiacrus and Seregios were probably supposed to be in the full release of the game if it didn't get pushed to be so early. But with that being said, let's go ahead and jump straight into the 3 sets I've built for you guys today. Alright, so up first is the one that I think has the most overall potential, which is the new Longsword Adrenaline Rush set built around the new Seregios Beta armor set. For the weapon, obviously the Ardian is still going to be the best, but I think the new Seregios Longsword, the Conga Rebellion, is a fun option if you're looking for something new to try out. It has good affinity, decent attack, and a new equipment skill called Blade Scale Honing. What this does is anytime you perfectly dodge an attack while your weapon is drawn, and Foresight Slash does count as perfectly dodging an attack, you get a pseudo sharpness bar that goes over your current sharpness bar. That is actually stronger than white sharpness, however you don't get many hits. It kind of depends on what kind of hits you do, so like if you have red gauge and do a multi-hit attack, that will eat up similar amounts of sharpness as a single like R2 swing, but it's about 5 to 7 hits of this special sharpness bar, but you can continually refresh it by dodging through or foresight slashing these attacks. I do just want to reiterate, this is not the new best longsword. I'm just really interested in trying out the new stuff. That's the whole point of these title updates. So I've also tossed the Dimensius Ardian longsword in here if you want to look at that for reference instead. As far as the armor goes, we're going to be running the Lagiacrus Helm Beta and then the Seregios Beta chest, arms, waist, and legs with the Counter Charm 3. The mantle is completely up to you. I had Corrupted Mantle on, just keep forgetting to change it, but Evasion Mantle will also play extremely nicely with this style of play, so I would highly recommend the Evasion Mantle for this one. As far as decos go, use what you like. I actually probably would instead go for a Master's Touch Jewel if you're going to be using the Seregios Longsword, as it has very little white sharpness. I went for 5 crit boost and 1 handicraft just to get a feel for it and see how it felt. But if you weren't foresighting all the time, you drop to blue sharpness very, very quick. So I'd maybe go crit boost 3 and a Master's Touch Jewel. Then again, if you're using Dimensius, whatever you like. I like Master's Touch and crit boost 5, but it really doesn't matter too much if you're not speedrunning. In the head, you're going to go for a Challenger, Mighty, and Sheath Jewel. In the chest is another Mighty and another Sheath Jewel. In the arms is a Counterattack and Sheath Jewel. In the waist is a Chain Jewel. Then in the final 3 level 1 slots, those are completely up to you. Since this is built pretty heavily around Foresight Slash and we have 3 levels of Max Might, those 2 are a little counterintuitive, so throwing in some Physique Jewels for Constitution here will help you keep Max Might up a little bit more often. But if you're playing multiplayer and you need a shockproof deco, you do have the room to decorate it there as well. So all in all, for skills, you'll have whatever you have on your weapon: Adrenaline Rush at level 5, Agitator at level 4, Evade Window, Counter-Strike, Max Might, and Quick Sheath at level 3, and then Burst at level 1. And then, of course, whatever you decide to fill in those 3 empty level 1 slots with. As far as set bonuses, we only get 1. It is Seregios' Tenacity. We're running 4 pieces, so we get Razor's Edge 2. So both levels of Razor's Edge, both level 1 and 2, take the duration of Adrenaline Rush from 30 to 45 seconds, but they also allow you to reactivate it once during those 45 seconds. You get an additional 15 seconds if you reactivate it during those first 45 seconds, so you basically get a full minute of it being active prior to this set bonus being in the game. During those 30 seconds of Adrenaline Rush, you could not reactivate it until those 30 seconds were up. So this gives you a chance to effectively double the overall duration if you're able to activate it twice in a row. But then with Razor's Edge level 2, the plus 30 bonus raw we get from Adrenaline Rush level 5 goes to plus 40. So by consistently hitting Foresight Slashes, you will have pretty much non-stop uptime of plus 40 raw attack, which is extremely good. Again, I haven't crunched the numbers quite yet to know if this is the new, quote, meta for Longsword, But of the sets that we have new in Title Update 2, this one definitely has the highest potential to be at least a slightly off meta option that will still get things done very quickly. So for our second set, we're only going to be using 2 pieces of the Seregios armor, but we're going to be moving over to Greatsword. Again, the choice of weapon is entirely up to you. If you still want to use Ardian, you're more than welcome to, but if you want to lean more into that dodging playstyle and try out blade skill honing, then you can use the Impudent Cheetah from Seregios. Either way, doesn't really matter. The head is again the Lagiacrus Helm Beta, but we will instead be using the Gore Mail Beta and Gore Greaves Beta with the Seregios Arms and Waist Beta and the Counter Charm 2. Again, I would highly recommend the Evasion Mantle here if you're planning to try out this playstyle. For decorations in the weapon, really use whatever you want. Again, these are my personal preferences. I'm not saying these are optimal, but this is what I like to use. For armor decorations, you will need a counterattack and sheath jewel in the head, chest, and arms, as well as a mighty jewel in the head. Then in the waist, a chain jewel. In the legs, you will want a challenger and 2 sane jewels. And then the 2 free level 1 slots in the waist are again completely up to you if you want to go for something like Divine Blessing, Shockproof, Adapt, etc. Really whatever you want, whatever fits your personal needs. You can even drop Quick Sheath if you really want, but I know that a lot of my Greatsword mains really do like having Quick Sheath so that way they can be a little bit more mobile, so I opted to drop that in here. As far as armor skills go, we again have Adrenaline Rush at level 5, Evade Window, Counter Strike, Maximum Might, Antivirus, and Quick Sheath all at level 3, then Agitator level 2, Burst level 1, and Flinch Free level 1. So a lot of the same skills, but we're using the Gore set bonus in order to get 25% more affinity on this set. Since Greatsword is a much slower hitting weapon than Longsword, having that extra crit so that way when you're doing those big, slow hitting, high damage attacks, you have a higher % chance of making sure that it is a crit, which is why we dropped from 4 pieces of Seregios armor down to just 2 and added those 2 pieces of Gore Magala armor. Since we have a bunch of Evade Window in this set, as well as ideally the Evasion Mantle, this should hopefully make Greatsword a little bit better. You don't have to sheath as much or run away as much, as you can just evade through things and get a massive damage boost for a minute if you're able to activate Adrenaline Rush twice in a row with Razor's Edge 1. So ideally, if you are pretty good at dodging and with all the evasion skills that we'll have, you should have that plus 30 damage from Adrenaline Rush pretty much non-stop for most of your attacks, making this actually a extremely strong option. Again, I don't know if it's going to beat out the previous meta sets, but it's definitely a fun option if you're looking to shake it up. Again, the game's been out for 4 months. If you still want to run 4-piece Gore and not try anything new, that's totally up to you. I'm not looking to break or shift the meta here, but I think this set is super, super fun, and I definitely recommend giving it a try. The final set is more in preparation for AT Uth Duna. It's a super high thunder set using the brand new Lagiacrus armor. Now, theoretically, you can use whatever of the Lagiacrus weapons you prefer. I opted to show it with Hunting Horn and Sword and Shield, but if you prefer something else, then you're more than welcome to use that. I would not, however, recommend using the bowguns with this, as the Convert Thunder Resistance skill doesn't actually increase your Thunder ammo's damage. I did test that out. It sucks, but apparently the elemental ammos are not impacted by skills like this. So keep it to your melee weapons and bow overall if you're going to be using this set. Again, it's going to be a little bit more niche as it's going to need to go up against a Thunder Week matchup, but as luck would have it, we will have AT with Duna at the end of this month, which is a Thunder Week matchup, so I thought I'd go ahead and get this out so that way you guys have a month to grind out these weapons and armors in order to get ready for AT with Duna. So the reason I opted to show the Lagiacrus Thunder Peel Hunting Horn here is because with no thunder attack boosting skills and no coalescence, by simply stacking thunder resistance using the Lagiacrus armor, the elemental resistance you can get from food in the cantina, the elemental attack up and elemental resistance up songs that this hunting horn has, as well as 3 level 1 thunder resistance decorations, we can hit the elemental cap, which is just pretty cool. You can see here I have 57 thunder resistance, I did the elemental attack up song, and I'm at 855 element, which is the cap for this weapon. So I just thought that was pretty cool. How much use that's actually going to have remains to be seen. But either way, whether you're running the hunting horn or a different Lagiacrus weapon, you can use literally no elemental boosting skills, so no thunder attack up and no coalescence, and still get very, very high element, allowing a lot more room for something else to fit into your build. As far as the armor goes, obviously the Lagiacrus Beta, everything except the arms are the Ray Sand Braces Gamma. The reason I opted for these is because they have 2 level 3 slots, halfway decent skills, and still have high thunder resistance, allowing you to stack more thunder attack, and then of course the Challenger Charm 2 and the Mantle of your choice. For decos, again, it's going to vary from weapon to weapon, your own personal preference, pick what you like. Again, not saying these are the best, this is just what I decided to throw in and use. In the head, you're going to need a Tenderizer counter and thunder resistance jewel. In the waist, 2 counter and a thunder resistance jewel. In the arms, a Challenger and chain jewel. Then between the waist and legs, technically the only thing you need is the thunder resistance jewel. However, if you plan to play multiplayer, the second level 1 slot should have a shockproof in it. But the 2 level 2 slots are completely up to you. I went for earplugs level 2, as most roars in the game are completely negated by earplugs level 2. But again, I'll leave that decision completely up to you. Now, as far as skills go, we have Weakness Exploit at level 5, then Agitator, Counter-Strike, Maximum Might, and Thunder Resistance all at level 3. Then Evade Extender, I have Earplugs at level 2, as well as 1 level 2 Latent Power, Burst, Stamina Surge, and of course, Shock Absorber. Now, the Lagiacrus set bonus at 4 pieces gives us Azure Bolt 2. Upon activation, you gain plus 15% affinity for 30 seconds. It then has a 30-second cooldown. But when you do activate it, you get a single burst of thunder damage. It is higher at level 2, so with 4 pieces than it is with the 2-piece. Overall, it's not a huge amount of damage. We're mostly using this for that thunder resistance, to use the convert thunder resistance on the weapons to get more thunder, and just to use new stuff. It's new armors, it's new weapons. We might as well use them. We have a great opportunity with with Duna coming up to at least try this stuff out. So I figured even if it's worse than 4 gore and a Zoshia chest, it's fun, it's new, it has positive water resistance, so it'll be good against Duna. You're going to be doing a bunch of thunder damage without having to go for thunder attack skills. So I think that's pretty cool. I recommend giving it a try. Let me know what you guys think of this set down in the comments below. That is going to do it for today's video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the sets. If you found this video helpful, be sure to drop a like down below and subscribe to the channel for more Monster Hunter content just like this. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I wish you all a good day and happy hunting.